I never knew a person's smile could hurt more than any illness. As I lay weak on that hospital bed, I watched my husband, Daniel, showing the brightest smile I had seen from him in years. But it wasn't because he loved me. It wasn't because he feared losing me. It was because he thought he was about to win. Before I continue, my dear viewers, please drop a comment with the time and where you're watching from. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and share it with someone who loves suspense stories. Your support helps me create more powerful stories for you. Now let's continue. I had been married to Daniel for almost 2 decades. 18 long years of love, sacrifice, and trust, or at least I thought so. I met him when I was just 23. Back then, he was charming, soft-spoken, and he treated me like I was the only woman on earth. People warned me. My mother once whispered, "A love that looks too perfect is hiding something." But I ignored her. I believed love was stronger than fear, stronger than doubt, stronger than warnings. For many years, we lived like a normal couple, or maybe I was just too blind to see the cracks forming beneath us. I built a business from scratch, a cleaning company that started with just me and one brush. It grew slowly but steadily until I had 40 workers under me. Daniel supported me, or so I thought. He was always smiling, always encouraging, always present. But I later learned that some people stay close to you only because of what they hope to gain in the future. 3 days earlier, I had fainted at home while preparing a meal. My hands shook, my vision blurred, and the next second, the world went dark. When I opened my eyes, I was in the hospital, surrounded by machines. And then the doctor came in with the news. "Your condition is critical. You may have only 3 days left." I expected Daniel to cry. I expected him to fall apart. I expected him to hold me the way he did when we first fell in love. Instead, he smiled. Not the smile of relief. Not the smile of hope. But the smile of a man who had been waiting for this exact moment. He squeezed my hand and whispered, "Only 3 days after that, the house, the cars, your business, everything finally mine." My heart broke in a way no disease could ever break it. He kissed my forehead and walked out of the room, humming a song I used to love. But the moment the door closed behind him, I felt something inside me shift. I wasn't ready to die. And I definitely wasn't ready to let a man who pretended to love me walk away with everything I had worked for. My mind started racing. My fingers trembled. I took a deep breath and reached for my phone. There was only one person I could trust, someone who had been loyal to me from the very beginning. Maria, my cleaning lady. She wasn't just a worker. She had become like a daughter to me. Loyal, sincere, and brave. When she picked up the phone, her voice was already shaking. "Madam, are you okay? Should I come?" I whispered. "Help me, and you will never have to work again." That was the moment everything changed. That was the moment a dying woman decided she wouldn't die quietly. Not when betrayal was standing at the foot of her bed. Not when someone she trusted was already celebrating her death. Not when she still had 3 days left. 3 days to rewrite her fate. And Daniel had no idea what was coming. Maria arrived at the hospital faster than I expected. Not even 20 minutes passed before I heard soft footsteps rushing toward my room. The door swung open, and there she was, breathing heavily, her hair messy like she had run the entire way. Her eyes were already filled with tears. "Madam, please don't die." Her voice cracked as she dropped her bag and came straight to my bedside. I smiled weakly, not because I was fine, but because at that moment, I knew I had someone who still cared about me from the heart. "I won't die," I whispered. "Not yet. Not on his terms." She looked at me, confused. His terms? What happened?" I swallowed hard. My throat felt heavy, but the pain was nothing compared to what had happened earlier. "Maria, Daniel wants me dead." Her mouth opened slightly. "What? No, madam, that can't be." He smiled when the doctor said I had 3 days left. The memory burned inside me like fire. He said everything I own will be his soon. Maria covered her mouth with both hands, her eyes trembling. That man is a demon." A small bitter laugh escaped me. I didn't know I married one. For a moment, the room was silent except for the steady beeping of the heart monitor. I could feel anger rising inside me, pushing against the weakness in my body. I wasn't just fighting a sickness. I was fighting betrayal. Maria wiped her face and sat on the chair beside me. "What do you want me to do?" Her voice was steady now. Strong. Serious. The kind of voice you expect from someone ready to fight beside you. And that was exactly what I needed. I took a breath. "Maria, listen carefully. If I have only 3 days left, I will not waste them crying. I will not let Daniel bury me and then spend the rest of his happy life with my sweat, my business, my house." My hand trembled as I reached for hers. "I need your help to take back my life." Maria nodded slowly. "I will do anything. Just tell me." "Good," I whispered. "We start now." Before giving her the plan, I needed to tell her something important, something I hadn't told anyone. "Maria, the doctor didn't tell me the full story. My condition is bad, yes, but I'm not dying in 3 days." Maria's eyes widened. "What? So why did he say?" "Because Daniel bribed him." Maria gasped so loud the nurse outside almost turned. "Jesus Christ. Why?" I exhaled slowly. "He wants me to believe I'm dying. He wants me too weak to fight. He wants to control everything." The truth tasted bitter on my tongue. My husband didn't just want me gone. He wanted me hopeless first. Maria clenched her fists. "If I see him outside now, I swear I will." "No," I interrupted. "We're not confronting him. Not yet." She looked at me, waiting. I smiled, a sharp, determined smile I didn't even know I still had. "We're going to play along." Maria blinked. "Play along?" "Yes. If Daniel believes I'm dying in 3 days." My voice lowered, turning cold. "Then we will let him believe it." Maria leaned forward. "And then what?" "And then we turn the game around. We make him reveal everything. Every lie. Every secret. Every plan." Her lips curved into a small smile, the first hint of victory. "So what should I do?" "Go to my house," I whispered. "Pack every important document, my company papers, bank statements, property files, everything." Maria nodded quickly. "Okay. What next?" "Put them somewhere safe. Somewhere only you can access." "Done. What else?" I lowered my voice even more. "And then, I want you to install cameras inside the house." Maria froze. "Cameras?" "Yes. Hidden ones." "Madam, what exactly are we expecting to record?" My eyes darkened. "Everything Daniel does when he believes I'm about to die." Because deep inside me I knew one thing. If Daniel was already celebrating my death, then he wasn't done. Men like him never stop at one betrayal. They always take more. Maria stood slowly, determination in her eyes. "I'll do it. I'll do everything." She picked up her bag and wiped her tears one last time. "You will not leave this world for that evil man. Not yet. Not ever." I smiled. "Thank you." She walked toward the door, but just before she opened it, she turned back and said, "Madam, you said he smiled when he heard you had 3 days left. But what if?" She hesitated. "What if Daniel doesn't want to wait 3 days?" Her words hit me like ice. I hadn't even thought of that. What if the 3 days were just the beginning of his plan? What if he wanted to speed things up? What if I wasn't safe? The room suddenly felt colder. Maria stepped closer again. "You must not be alone. Lock your door. Don't eat anything he brings. Don't drink anything near him." For the first time since the doctor gave me the fake countdown, I felt fear. Real fear. Because now, death wasn't coming from my illness. It was coming from the man I married. And that was how the first step of the plan began, quietly, secretly, and dangerously. Because when love turns into betrayal, survival becomes a strategy. The shadow in the room. The silence in my hospital room felt heavier after Maria left. For the first time since morning, I could hear my own heartbeat clearly, slow, tired, but not giving up. I kept replaying her last words in my mind. What if Daniel doesn't want to wait 3 days? I never liked fear. I never enjoyed feeling helpless. But at that moment, I realized I wasn't just sick. I was in danger. Real danger. I reached for the remote beside me and tried to sit up, but my body felt weak, almost numb. Whatever Daniel had arranged with the doctor, it was meant to break me mentally, to make me surrender. But I wasn't the same weak woman he thought he had married. 3 days? That was more than enough time to rise again, or to destroy him completely. As I tried to gather strength, the hospital door suddenly creaked open. Daniel. He walked in slowly, wearing his usual soft smile. The same smile that used to comfort me but now made my skin crawl. He carried a small food container in his hands. My chest tightened instantly. Maria's words echoed again. Don't eat anything he brings. Daniel came closer, pretending to look concerned. My love, he said softly, I brought your favorite soup. You need strength. Strength or silence. He placed the container on the small table beside my bed, then gently touched my forehead. You're cold, he whispered. The doctor said we should make your final days as comfortable as possible. Final days. The way he said it almost proudly. I forced a weak smile. I don't feel like eating now. Maybe later. His eyes narrowed for a split second. A quick flash of annoyance. Then the smile returned. Of course. Rest first. He pulled the chair beside my bed and sat down. I felt my heartbeat speed up. What was he doing? Why was he staying? He stared at me with calm eyes. You know, he began. I've been thinking a lot since morning. About our life, about everything we built. We. Funny how people use that word when they never built anything. He continued. It's sad, very sad that things had to end like this. But I want you to know something. His voice dropped lower. I will take good care of everything you leave behind. I shifted slightly in bed. You mean the business? The house? He nodded without shame. Yes. All of it. I'll keep everything safe. Safe. Or under his control. I felt anger rise inside me, but I hid it behind soft breaths. I couldn't let him know I knew his secret. Not yet. Daniel leaned back and crossed one leg over the other. You know, sweetheart, he continued, his tone suddenly playful. I checked the insurance papers this morning. My heart almost stopped. Insurance. You never told me you increased the amount last year, he said casually. I hadn't. Someone else must have. Someone with access to my documents. Someone like him. I swallowed slowly. Daniel, why were you checking the insurance? He smiled again, running a finger along the armrest. Just making plans. Plans? For my funeral? For his new life? For my wealth? I forced a shaky laugh. You sound like you're waiting for me to go. His eyes met mine with sharp coldness, the coldest I had ever seen in him. 3 days, he whispered. Only 3 days. A chill ran through my whole body. He wasn't even hiding his excitement anymore. The test. Daniel suddenly reached for the food container. Just take a sip, he insisted softly. Even 1 spoon. My heart pounded. I needed to act smart. I reached out slowly, took the spoon, and intentionally let it slip from my weak fingers, dropping it to the floor. Oh, I said softly. I'm too weak. I can't hold it. Daniel's jaw tightened. He wasn't happy. He picked up the spoon, wiped it with a tissue, and held it out again. 1 sip, he repeated. Before I could respond, a nurse walked into the room. Sir, the doctor needs you for a moment. Daniel paused. For a moment I thought he would refuse, but he leaned forward, kissed my cheek, and whispered, I'll be back soon. Don't go anywhere, not yet. He stood and left with the nurse. The moment the door shut, I reached for the soup container with shaking hands. I opened it carefully, brought it close to my nose. Nothing smelled strange. But poison doesn't always have a smell. I closed it quickly. I stared at the door. Daniel's behavior had changed so suddenly, almost too suddenly. He was more controlling, more watchful, more eager. Maria was right. He wasn't going to wait 3 days. He wanted me gone even faster. I pressed the emergency call button on the bed. A nurse entered within seconds. Please, I said weakly, don't allow anyone to bring food for me, except the hospital staff. No outside food. Not even from my husband. The nurse looked confused but nodded. Okay, madam. I'll inform the team. I leaned back on the pillow, trying to steady my breathing. Maria was out there preparing the house, installing cameras, gathering evidence. And here I was, lying in a hospital bed beside a man who was planning my early death. But something inside me, something strong, refused to give up. I wasn't going to die. Not in 3 days. Not in 3 weeks. Not by his hands. Because a woman becomes dangerous the moment she discovers the truth. Secrets in the walls. Night came slowly, crawling through the hospital window like a shadow trying to warn me of something. The hallway outside became quieter, the lights dimmer, and the beeping of machines around me felt louder, almost like they were counting down the hours Daniel thought I had left. I tried to close my eyes, but every time I did, I saw his smile. Not the loving smile he once used to give, but the smile of a man who believed he had already won. My mind wouldn't rest. Not when danger was this close. I whispered to myself, 3 days is more than enough. I will not die. I will not lose. Suddenly, my phone buzzed under my pillow. I pulled it out with trembling fingers. A message from Maria. Madam, I'm inside your house. You need to see this. My heart skipped a beat. She sent another message. Please don't panic. But you must be strong. Then she sent a picture. I opened it, and my breath caught in my chest. It was a photo of my bedroom drawer, pulled open. Inside it, scattered like trash, were things I never left out. My necklace, my old journal, my checkbook, a spare key to my office, and a printed document with my signature forged on it. My fingers shook violently. I typed back immediately. What is that? Who did that? Her reply came fast. Madam, I think Daniel has been planning this for a long time. I stared at the picture again. The forged signature. The financial papers. The key to my office. All the things he would need to take control of my life. I felt tears forming. Not because I was sad, but because I was furious. The kind of fury that wakes something powerful inside a person. Another message arrived. And madam, there's something else. She sent a second photo. This time it was my living room. Specifically, the floor under the carpet. The carpet had been pulled back, and there were fresh marks on the wooden floor, like someone had tried to drag something heavy across it. I covered my mouth. What was he moving? What was he hiding? Then Maria sent a voice note. Her voice was low and shaky. Madam, I think Daniel is preparing for something big. I found a camera in the living room. Hidden. And not one of yours. He's watching the house. And, madam, I'm scared to say this, but it looks like he's already planning what to do after you're gone. My entire body turned cold. Cameras? Dragging marks? Forged documents? Insurance papers? A doctor he bribed? And food he desperately wanted me to eat? This wasn't just a selfish husband waiting for his wife to die. This was a man preparing for a future he believed was already guaranteed. I typed, Maria, leave the house. Right now. Go home. Lock your doors. She responded, No. I'm finishing what you asked me to do. I typed again, Maria, please. You could be in danger. But before she replied, I saw her typing, then stopping. Typing, then stopping again. Finally, her message came. Madam, someone has been entering your study room when you're not home. I found footprints. I think Daniel has been searching for something. Maybe documents he couldn't find before. My head started spinning. What was he looking for? Then I remembered something. Something I hadn't thought about in years. A sealed brown box inside the top shelf of my study cabinet. A box I never opened. A box that belonged to my late mother. A box she said I should open only when I felt danger was near. My heartbeat grew louder. Was Daniel looking for that box? Could he even know about it? I typed, Maria, is there a brown box on the top shelf? A dusty one? Her reply came almost instantly. No, madam. It's not there. My chest tightened. Not there. Then where was it? I tried to sit up but winced from the pain. The 4-line pulled at my arm. Where could the box be? Did Daniel find it before Maria got there? Did he take it? Did he open it? My mother had warned me about him before she died. She always said, love is blind, but a mother is not. Was that box her last warning? Another message came from Maria. Madam, I hear something. Someone is outside the house. I think. The message stopped suddenly. My eyes widened. A chill shot through my spine. I typed quickly. Maria, are you okay? Maria, answer me. No reply. Not a typing bubble. Not a sound. Nothing. I called her. The phone rang once, twice, 3 times. Then it went dead. I stared at my screen, my stomach twisting into a tight knot. Had Daniel gone home? Did he see her? Was she hiding? Or had something happened? The fear, the uncertainty, the silence, it all made the room feel smaller, darker. I pressed the call button for the nurse, my voice shaking. "Please," I whispered. "Can someone check if my husband is still in the hospital?" She nodded and walked away. My heart raced. If Daniel had left, if he had gone home, if he found Maria, everything could fall apart. And then the nurse returned, her face confused. "Madam, your husband? He told us he was stepping out for a few minutes, but that was nearly an hour ago. He hasn't come back." My entire body froze. An hour? Maria went silent about an hour ago. Which meant Daniel wasn't in the hospital. He was at the house. And Maria was alone. I grabbed my sheets, breathing fast. This wasn't just a game anymore. Daniel wasn't planning my death quietly. He was moving. Actively. Dangerously. And if Maria wasn't answering, then something terrible had already started. The unanswered call. For the first time since the doctor's fake announcement, I felt truly helpless. My phone was still in my hand. My heart was still pounding. But Maria was silent. I tried calling again. Ring, ring. Nothing. I sent another message. "Maria, please answer me. Even if you whisper. Anything. Please." No reply. I could feel fear crawling up my spine like icy fingers. I pushed myself up in bed. The 4 lines stretched. The pain shot through my body. But I didn't care. I needed answers. I needed to know she was safe. Because if Daniel had found her in the house, if he knew she was helping me, if he suspected even a little, he wouldn't hesitate. I knew the man I married. I knew the darkness behind his smile. And I knew deep down that a cornered man is the most dangerous. A few minutes passed, long, silent minutes that felt like hours. Then suddenly, my phone buzzed. A message. From Maria. I opened it so fast my fingers slipped. It said, "Madam, don't worry. I'm safe." I hid. But something is wrong. Terribly wrong. My chest tightened. I replied instantly. "What happened?" Her typing bubble appeared, then disappeared. Appeared again. Disappeared. Then finally a long message arrived. "Madam, when I heard footsteps outside earlier, I thought it was him. I hid behind your wardrobe in the study. I didn't breathe. I didn't move. And, madam, someone entered the house." I held my breath. The message continued. The person went straight toward the bedroom. I heard drawers opening, things being moved. Then, madam, the person dragged something heavy again, just like the marks on the floor. Dragged something heavy. Again. My mind flashed to the first picture she sent. The marks beneath the carpet. Was that Daniel? Dragging what? Or who? I forced myself to keep reading. "Madam," after a few minutes, the footsteps came to the study. I thought he would find me. I nearly fainted. But something strange happened. The person didn't come in. Instead, they went to the garage. Garage. A cold chill wrapped around my body. The garage was where I kept my late mother's old belongings. Boxes, clothes, broken furniture, old pictures. And the brown box. The missing brown box. Was that what the intruder was dragging? Was he moving it? Had Daniel finally found it? My fingers trembled as I typed. "Maria, did you see the person? Was it Daniel?" She replied slowly. "Madam, I saw a shadow. The height looked like him. The way he walked, it looked like him. But I'm not 100% sure because the lights were off. I only saw a dark shape." I swallowed. "Daniel." I could feel something deep and heavy inside my chest, not sickness, not weakness, but fury. A quiet fury that grows when someone tries to destroy everything you have. I typed, "Maria, where are you now?" Her response came quickly. I escaped through the back door. "I'm outside now. Hiding behind the big mango tree." "Madam, I'm afraid to leave yet. I think he is still inside the house." My blood ran cold. Daniel was in the house. Alone. Searching. Dragging things. Maybe looking for the box my mother left me. Maybe preparing evidence. Maybe hiding something. Maybe setting something up. The nurse walked into my hospital room suddenly, making me jump. She smiled politely. Madam, I brought your medication. I grabbed her wrist gently. Please, I whispered. Did you confirm if my husband returned? She shook her head. No, he didn't. The doctor said he hasn't seen him since he left earlier. My hands turned cold. Daniel had left the hospital without telling anyone. He had gone home. To my house. To the place where Maria was. The nurse checked the monitor beside my bed. Your heart rate is rising, madam. Are you in pain? Pain. I had passed pain long ago. What I felt now was survival. A fire burning inside me. No, I whispered. Just worried. She left the room, and I quickly texted Maria again. Stay hidden. Don't move. Don't go near the house. I'll find a way to help you. Just stay safe, please. She replied with one last message. Madam, I'm scared. I saw something else before I escaped. My pulse quickened. What did you see? A long pause. Then finally, Madam, I saw a second shadow. Another person. Not Daniel. I froze. Another person? In my house. At night. With Daniel? My hands shook as I typed. Who? Describe them. Please. Her answer came. Madam, they were shorter. Slim. Moving quietly. They were wearing gloves. And they went straight into the garage with Daniel. My heart nearly stopped. Daniel wasn't alone. He had help. But who? Why? What were they dragging? What were they hiding? What were they planning? I rested my trembling hand on my stomach. This wasn't just betrayal anymore. This was conspiracy. This was danger in its purest form. This was death, being prepared carefully, silently, skillfully. And I was lying in a hospital bed with barely any strength. But then I whispered to myself, you will not die. Not now. Not by their plans. Because now I wasn't fighting for revenge anymore. I was fighting for survival. And 3 days was still enough to destroy them both. The final reckoning. The hall fell completely silent. Everyone stared at Lisa. The projector was still frozen on the photo of her kissing the older man. And the older man stood frozen near the stage, his face drained of all color. He whispered, Lisa, you told me you were not seeing anyone else. Anthony swallowed hard, stepping back from her. Lisa, is that true? You said your parents hated me. You said they were trying to break us apart. You said. Lisa snapped. Stop. Everyone just stop. Her voice echoed across the hall. But no one stopped watching her. She tried to smile, but her lips were shaking. That photo, it's old. It's not what it looks like. Mom walked forward slowly, her voice steady. Lisa. That picture was taken 2 months ago. Same hairstyle. Same dress. Same perfume. Same necklace I bought for you. Lisa's mouth dropped open. And for the first time, she realized her lies had finally trapped her. Dad folded his arms. You didn't just push us away, you built your entire wedding on lies. Mom added softly. And you blamed us so no one would question you. Lisa's eyes widened in panic. She turned to the older man, trying to salvage something, anything. Baby, they're lying. They hate me. They always wanted to ruin my life. But he stepped back from her. You told me your parents cut you off because they didn't like us together. You said I was your future husband. You said you weren't serious about anyone else. Everyone gasped again. Anthony whispered, Husband? Lisa, you already called us your forever months ago. The older man's jaw tightened. You told me you wanted to marry me in December. You even picked a ring. Anthony froze. The guests froze. Lisa froze. And then, the older man sighed, shaking his head. I'm sorry, son. He placed a gentle hand on Anthony's shoulder. She played both of us. Then he walked away, straight out of the hall. Lisa stood in the center of the room, shaking like a leaf. Anthony stared at her for a long moment, his eyes filled with pain, disbelief, and slowly calmness. A calmness that scared Lisa more than anger would have. He stepped toward her, handed her the ring she had forced onto her finger a few minutes ago, and said quietly, Lisa, you didn't just break my heart. You broke your own wedding. The hall murmured. Lisa dropped to her knees, crying, Anthony, please. I love you. I only did it because... Dad stepped forward, firm but calm. No lies left, Lisa. Say the truth. She froze. Her shoulders shook. And then the truth finally slipped out in a whisper that everyone heard. I didn't want to lose either of them. Silence. Not a cough. Not a whisper. Not even a breath. Just silence. Mom closed her eyes. Dad looked away. Anthony sighed, his voice steady. I'm not angry anymore, just free. This wedding is over. The hall erupted into whispers, but no one sounded surprised after what they'd seen. Lisa collapsed, screaming and crying, but Anthony walked away, surrounded by his stunned but supportive family. As for us, her parents, we didn't rub anything in. We didn't shout. We didn't embarrass her. We simply walked toward Lisa, lifted her gently from the floor, and held her as she cried uncontrollably. Mom whispered into her hair, "You didn't let us come to your wedding, but you still needed us at the end." And Dad added softly, "We came anyway, because no matter what happens, you're still our daughter." She cried even harder. The guests watched in awe, because in that moment, they didn't see drama. They saw something deeper. A family breaking, but also healing. After a long pause, Lisa whispered weakly, "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, please don't leave me." Dad placed a hand on her back. "We're right here, Lisa." The wedding was ruined. The groom had walked away. The truth had exploded in front of everyone. But somehow, this was the beginning of her real healing. And our family's turning point. Because sometimes, the end of a big lie is the beginning of a real story. The aftermath nobody expected. The hall slowly emptied after the dramatic scene. The music had stopped. The decorations still glittered, but the joy was gone. Lisa sat quietly between Mom and Dad, her face buried in her palms. She wasn't crying anymore, she was just empty. For a long moment, no one said anything. It felt like the whole world had paused. Then Mom gently lifted Lisa's chin. "Sweetheart, what really happened? Why did you feel you had to do all this?" Lisa's throat tightened. She looked small, like a scared child who didn't know how to fix what she had broken. And then she whispered, "I didn't think anyone would choose me." Dad frowned softly. "What do you mean?" She took a shaky breath. "Anthony, the older man, they both made me feel special. And after everything I went through in school, after everyone called me worthless and average and plain, I felt wanted for once." Mom's eyes softened. "Oh, Lisa," she continued, voice trembling. "I was scared that if I picked one, I would lose the other. I thought, if you both weren't at the wedding, I could pretend everything was perfect." Dad closed his eyes, finally understanding. Lisa wasn't evil. She wasn't wicked. She was broken. Broken in a way she tried to hide with lies. Mom held her hand. "Lisa, you should have talked to us. You shut us out completely." Lisa nodded slowly. "I know, and I'm sorry. I thought you wouldn't understand. I thought you would judge me for liking someone older. And I thought you would think Anthony wasn't good enough." Dad shook his head gently. "We never wanted to judge your choices. But we had to speak when we saw you rushing, hiding things, and acting like someone else." A long silence followed. Lisa wiped her eyes with a trembling hand. "So, what happens now? Everyone saw everything. I lost Anthony. The other man left me too. My life is over." Mom squeezed her hand tighter. "No. Your wedding ended today, not your life." Lisa's lip quivered. Dad continued in a calm, firm voice. "Today was painful. But pain doesn't mean punishment. It means something in you needed to break, so it could heal correctly." Lisa looked up. "For weeks you ignored us, insulted us, blocked us, and pushed us away. Yet we still came today. Not to embarrass you, but to protect you." Lisa broke down again, but quietly this time. More like a child crying into the arms of people she should have trusted from the beginning. Mom rubbed her back gently. "We're not going anywhere." Dad nodded. "You are not facing this alone." Outside the hall, guests were still whispering. Photos and videos were already spreading on social media. People were sharing opinions, judging, laughing, exaggerating. Lisa knew the storm waiting for her. She whispered, "Tomorrow, everyone will know. Everyone will mock me." Dad placed a hand on her shoulder. "Let them talk. You faced the truth today. That's what matters." Mom added softly, "And tomorrow we start rebuilding. Together." Lisa took a long, steady breath. For the first time since the drama happened, She wasn't shaking. She wasn't screaming. She was calm. Broken but calm. She whispered, Can I come home tonight? Mom smiled sadly. You never stopped being welcomed home. Dad nodded. Let's go. They stood up slowly and walked out of the hall. The lights flickered above them. The night air felt cold but refreshing. Lisa looked back one last time at the wedding that never happened. And then she whispered to herself, This is not the end, maybe it's my second chance. She stepped into the car, and the doors closed gently, a quiet symbol of a new chapter forming. The day after the broken wedding. The next morning was quiet. Too quiet. Lisa sat on her old bed in her parents' house, staring at the blank wall. Her wedding dress was gone. Her makeup from yesterday had washed away, but the pain remained like a shadow behind her eyes. Mom walked into the room slowly with a cup of warm tea. You should drink something, she said softly. Lisa nodded, but her hands were shaking too much to lift the cup. Mom placed it on the bedside table and sat beside her. For a moment, Lisa didn't speak. She just breathed heavily, like her mind was trying to catch up with everything that had happened. Finally, in a weak voice, she said, I'm trending, Mom. Mom froze. Trending? What did she mean? Lisa unlocked her phone and showed her. There it was. Her name. Her wedding hall. Her dramatic fall to the floor. Her argument. Her two men. Her parents confronting her. Clips from different angles. Millions of views already. Thousands of comments. Some laughing. Some mocking. Some confused. Some angry. Some calling her names. She handed the phone to Mom with trembling fingers. I can't go outside, Lisa whispered. The whole world is laughing at me. Mom placed the phone face down on the bed. Look at me, she said gently. Lisa slowly raised her head. You are not the first person to make a mistake, Mom continued. And you won't be the last. But what you do after the mistake, that is what truly defines you. Lisa swallowed hard. But the internet never forgets. Mom squeezed her hand. Yes, but the internet also loses interest. Today people mock you. Tomorrow they will mock someone else. What matters is that you don't mock yourself. Lisa's voice broke. I hurt everyone, even myself. I don't even know who I am anymore. Mom breathed deeply. Then today, we find out who you want to become. Just then, they heard a soft knock on the door. Dad entered. His face was serious, but his eyes were warm. He sat across from them and said, Lisa, we need to talk. Lisa wiped her nose, prepared for the worst. Dad continued, We're not throwing you out of this house. We're not ashamed of you. But you need to take responsibility for how things got this far. Lisa nodded slowly. You shut us out. You lied. You tried to balance two relationships at once. And even when we tried to talk to you, you pushed us away. Lisa lowered her head. I know, Dad. I know. And I'm sorry. He nodded. But apologies mean nothing if you don't change. So here's what we're going to do. Lisa looked up, scared but attentive. Dad leaned forward. For now, stay here. Rest. Stay off the internet. Stay away from public places. Let things calm down. Lisa nodded. Next, he continued, you will have to talk to the two men. Not to get them back, but to close that chapter properly. Lisa swallowed. Her palms grew sweaty. And after that, Dad said, we'll decide what the next step is for your life. Lisa looked between her parents, her eyes filling with tears. You both still want to help me? Mom took her hand. We never stopped wanting to. Lisa broke down again, but this time, it wasn't despair. It was relief. Pure, shaking relief. She leaned into her mother's arms, crying softly. Dad stood and placed a protective hand on her back. Whatever happens from here, we face it together, he said. A small smile appeared on Lisa's face, her first smile since the disaster. But the road ahead wasn't going to be easy, because while her parents were helping her heal, something else was happening outside. Someone else had decided to speak. Someone unexpected. At that same moment across town, Anthony sat alone in his apartment, staring at the viral videos. His jaw clenched, his heart racing, his eyes burning. He replayed every moment again and again. The look on Lisa's face. The betrayal. The humiliation. The lies. He whispered to himself. No, she doesn't get the last word. He opened his camera, put his phone on record, stared directly into the lens with cold, steady eyes, and hit post. In the next hours, the internet would explode again. But this time, with Anthony's side of the story. And Lisa had no idea what was coming. When the internet turned against her, Lisa was sitting on the couch, wrapped in a blanket, trying to calm her mind. The house was quiet. Her parents were in the kitchen whispering, giving her space. But then, ding, ding, ding. Her phone started vibrating nonstop. Notifications. Hundreds of them. Then thousands. Lisa felt her heart jump. What now? She whispered, her hands trembling as she reached for the phone. She unlocked the screen and froze. The first thing she saw was Anthony's face. He had posted a video. The caption read, "My side of the story." Lisa's stomach twisted. She clicked it. The video started. Anthony sat on his couch, eyes tired, voice calm but heavy. He began speaking. Hello everyone. I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to talk online. But after seeing everything, after hearing the insults and the lies, I feel like people deserve to know the truth. Lisa's pulse quickened. He continued. When Lisa said she loved me, I believed her. When she said she wanted to marry me, I believed her. I trusted her completely. Her eyes watered. I didn't know there was another man. I didn't know she was keeping secrets from her own parents. I didn't know she was trying to live two lives at once. He gave a sad, tired smile. And honestly, I blame myself too. I loved her too blindly. Lisa covered her mouth. Then came the part that shattered her completely. I'm not here to disgrace her. I'm not here to insult her. I'm here to say, I'm letting go. I hope she heals. But I cannot walk the same road with her. Lisa dropped the phone. It slid across the living room floor. She curled forward, holding her chest like her heart was physically breaking. No, no, no. Mom rushed in. Lisa, what's wrong? Lisa could barely breathe. He posted a video. He's done with me. He's letting me go. Mom sat beside her immediately, holding her tightly. Sweetheart, breathe. Just breathe. But Lisa couldn't stop shaking. Mom held her head close. You were expecting forgiveness too fast, she whispered gently. Healing takes time, even for those we hurt. Lisa cried until her throat went dry. But the storm wasn't over. Not even close. Because 5 minutes later, another notification came. Another video. This time, from the older man. The caption. The truth you didn't know. Dad entered the room when he heard Lisa scream softly. Lisa wiped her tears roughly and pressed play. The older man looked angry. Not sad like Anthony. Angry. He spoke straight to the camera. I saw the videos. I saw the chaos. And I'm not here to lie. Lisa wanted me too. Lisa's jaw dropped. He continued, voice sharp. She wasn't confused. She wasn't innocent. She knew exactly what she was doing. She told me she loved me. She promised she would choose me. Dad stepped closer, fists tightening. Then the man leaned forward into the camera and said the words that destroyed Lisa's last piece of dignity. She wanted stability from me. And passion from him. She wanted both worlds. Lisa gasped. That's not true. I never said that. Her voice cracked, desperate. Dad touched her shoulder. Lisa, stop watching. But she didn't. She needed to hear everything, no matter how painful. The man continued. And I'm not going to pretend. I feel used. Played. Lied to. Just like him. Then, he smirked slightly. But now the world knows what she really is. Lisa's breath left her body. She stared blankly at the screen. She looked like someone who had been stabbed over and over, each word another cut. Her parents exchanged a worried look. Dad spoke softly. Lisa, enough internet for today. But Lisa whispered. No, Dad, I deserve this. I caused this. Mom kneeled in front of her. No, you made mistakes. Big ones. But you do not deserve to be destroyed. You deserve to learn. Lisa looked between both parents. For the first time in her life, she understood the weight of her actions. The pain she caused. The lives she toyed with. The trust she broke. And the humiliation she brought upon herself. Dad sat beside her and spoke gently but firmly. Tomorrow we fix what we can. But tonight we rest. She nodded slowly. Then Mom pulled her close again. You are not who they say you are. You are not the videos. You are not the comments. You are a human being who made human mistakes. Lisa cried silently. No fighting. No excuses. Just acceptance. The room stayed quiet for a long time. Then Lisa spoke for the first time with clarity. I will become better. I promise. Not for them. For myself. Mom and Dad smiled weakly. And that night, for the first time since the wedding disaster, Lisa slept. Not peacefully, but honestly. She didn't know it yet. Rising from the ruins. A new week began. The noise online finally started to die down. People had found a new trending story to talk about. And slowly, the world's eyes moved away from Lisa. But Lisa's own battle was far from over. She sat with her parents at the dining table. No phones. No distractions. Just quiet hearts trying to rebuild. Dad looked at her seriously. Lisa, you've been hurt. And you've hurt others too. What matters now is what you choose to become from this moment. Lisa nodded. For the first time, she wasn't crying. She wasn't panicking. She wasn't trying to escape reality. She was ready to face herself. She spoke softly. I want to change. I want to grow. I want to learn who I am without needing anyone else to tell me. Mom smiled gently. That is the right beginning. Lisa took a deep breath. I will go to therapy. I will take responsibility. And when I'm ready, I'll apologize to them personally. Not for social media. Not for people's opinions. But because I owe it to them. Dad looked proud for the first time in days. That is maturity, he said. Lisa stood up and walked to the window. The sunlight touched her face. For the first time, she didn't feel ashamed of it. She whispered, I lost both men. I lost my wedding. I lost the story I tried to force. But maybe I needed to lose everything to finally find myself. Mom hugged her from behind. Sometimes life breaks us so the pieces can be rearranged into something stronger. Lisa closed her eyes, letting the words sink deep into her soul. That day, she made small steps. She apologized to her parents again, this time with a clear mind. She deleted all her social media apps to heal privately. She called a therapist. She reorganized her priorities. She started journaling. She took responsibility. Slowly, gently, painfully, Lisa began her rebirth. Weeks passed. The world forgot the drama. People moved on. The videos stopped circulating. And one afternoon, while sitting in the garden reading a book, Lisa smiled. A real, genuine smile. Mom walked outside and sat next to her. You look peaceful, she said. Lisa nodded. I'm learning that my value isn't in two men fighting for me. Or a wedding picture. Or what people online think. She turned to her mom. My value comes from knowing myself, loving myself, and growing from my mistakes. Mom gently squeezed her hand. I am proud of you. Then Lisa said something that surprised even her. Maybe love will find me again, but next time, I will be wiser. I will be honest. I will not build my happiness on lies. The birds chirped softly in the trees. The breeze moved through the leaves. Life felt new again. She looked up at the sky and whispered, Thank you for second chances. Because even though she lost her wedding, she found something more important. She found herself. And that was the real ending. A beginning disguised as a loss. Moral lessons of the story. 1. Lies always grow bigger than we expect. Even small secrets can turn into storms that destroy everything. 2. Love built on confusion never stands. Trying to please everyone only ends in hurting everyone, including yourself. 3. Pain is not the end, it is a teacher. Lisa's mistake didn't define her. How she faced it did. 4. Family is your anchor. When everyone else walked away, her parents stayed. 5. Growth begins when we take responsibility. Healing starts when we stop blaming others and look inward. 6. The internet doesn't know your heart. Don't let public opinions shape your identity. 7. Losing something isn't always a punishment. Sometimes life removes the wrong things to make space for the right ones. Before you go, tell me in the comments. What did you learn from this story, and where are you watching from? If this story touched your heart, please like the video. Make sure you subscribe for more emotional and powerful stories. Share this video with someone who might need to hear this message today. Your support helps us touch more lives through storytelling. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next story.